That's how I see it, and that's how I'm going to say it. Again, we have to understand that the views of the callers are not necessarily those of voices. Sometimes we have, yes, we have an area that we have control that we can bleep some information. Sometimes you're not just fast enough, and so we ask those who are calling in and who want to be part of the program to be mindful that you have to be careful of the choice of words that you use. And yeah, sometimes we get passionate and we say things out of context, but learn to control yourself, I suppose. That is the reason why we're living in the world that we're living in today. Anger rules. 4660989, 6620989, 7620989. Those are the local numbers that you can call. I am yet to verify whether 4660989 is working. In the UK, if you want to call us, we know that you're listening. It's 0333 440065, 0333 344 0065. That's the number in the UK. If you want to be a part of the program, 718 285 6984. That's our US line. And in Canada, it's 305 921 4619. Yes, like I said earlier, it's Monday morning. What do we talk about on Voices? There's so many things to talk about. We have to, first, I want to make sure that some of the areas that we discuss, because it's not about just calling to Voices and airing your views, is making sure that some of the concerns are addressed. The area that, one of the concerns that we've had last week and maybe the week before, the biggest one was the monkey problem. I haven't heard anybody address that yet. We're yet to hear from the powers that be to see what they can do to assist where that can concern, where that problem is concerned. The stench at Best Buy, I want to know whether or not that has been addressed. If it has not been, people can still call in and say whether or not it has or it has not been, so we can congratulate and thank those who would have, find it necessary to do so. We talk about the agriculture situation. I know that is not going to address. They wouldn't address this right now. We have to. It's a project in progress. So these are the things that some people are very concerned about. Last week Friday we talked about that gruesome killing of the two girls. Out of it came of protection of the fairer of the two, that's the women and children. I was listening to Inside the News, and people are always complaining, why do you have to protect women? Why? I could understand the children. Why women? Oh, sorry, man. Sorry to bust your bubble. But without women, we can't procreate. That is one of the reasons why women are on the protected list. And because men can, you only give, and I suppose there are going to be some ways where we can do it without you. So I think that's one of the reasons why we have to protect the woman. It's an unfortunate situation we talk about, and I listened to Inside the News, and they had a very, very good discussion about equality, gender equality. There are laws that we have not yet, or a lot of us are not aware of, where if you are doing the same job, because it's always happened where the men are paid more in the work field. If you're doing a job and you feel like you're doing the same amount of work that the man is doing and you're not being paid like the man, you can actually take that to court. That is something I didn't know. I mean, I think I can go back in time and I can start taking a few people to court, because I think I was underpaid, because some people were paid more than me because of the fact that they were male. I remember that now. So I think I should start suing some companies who I think would have done me some injustice. But these are the things, these are the laws that we are not aware of. We talked about last week about this, the school dropouts. While I was reading some information about the young lady, Jamilia, who was killed, I was looking at her story. It was very, very touching. She talked about the fact that her experiences, her hardships, and the fact that people would not. It makes me teary though. the fact that people would not listen to her story unless they cast aspersions and have something else to say. She talked about the time when she would walk and people would stare, I suppose, knowing who she is and her hardships, that she, it's the insensitivity that we look at, where we are not sympathetic. We always tend to point fingers. We don't understand. My mother used to say when we were growing up, walk a mile in my shoe, and you would have a good understanding of how difficult it is. And those are the things that we look at, and the contributing factors why we have so many young people on the road and afraid. They're afraid to seek help because people are going to judge them, and not having an understanding of what they go through. We can sit on the side and we can say as much as we want. Some of us are educated enough, some of us are intelligent enough to have an understanding of the outcomes of the things that we do. When we see other people doing it, we tend to start to judge because we feel that we are strong enough that others are the same. And we can't say that all of us are the same. All of us are not built up the same way. All of us we don't look at things, the same way. We are not affected the same way. For me, you could say as much as you want. I don't care what people say about me. And it's the honest truth. I really don't. I know what I do. I know what I'm capable of doing. And I do what I want to do. I mean, I try my best to make sure that what I do, it doesn't hurt anybody. It doesn't offend anybody. But if I'm happy in what I'm doing, I'm going to do it. If somebody see that I'm doing something that's going to hurt me, I am grateful. I would ask you, please, come and talk to me. You might have a good understanding of why I do what I do when I tell you, but don't judge me. And I think that's one of the things that we do too often, is that we start to judge people and feel like we're better than people. And we start looking on people. We start comparing ourselves to others. Something we have to stop. We can't compare. We are different. We are made up different. We see things differently. And like I said, we were affected by situations differently. That was a long talk, and that is basically how I feel. I would like to hear how you feel. And if there are any other topics that you want to discuss, feel free to discuss it. Okay, where we at? We are having, I can't call the word. It's called swellergammon, magammon, whatever it is, where we have issues where the seawater is doing what it wants to do. We have the winds doing what it wants to do. We have swells that are just coming up, and it is very dangerous. And there are advisories out there where we have to be very careful. People who like to swim and want to swim, we have to be very careful where we are and how we are, whether or not we want to go out and swim. I normally swim early in the morning, but I recognize now that it's something I cannot do until Friday. Don't take chances. It is dangerous. And a lot of times we hear about these things, and we still, I was surprised. I was having a discussion this morning with a friend of mine, and I was telling him, are you aware of what is happening? And he said, no, I don't know. I didn't realize that these things were happening. Another thing, I woke up this morning and I was told, that we were on the tsunami watch. I didn't know. Could you imagine me waking up this morning and finding that I'm dead? That would have been a really, really sad thing. But I didn't even know that we were on the tsunami watch. And this is a question I'm going to ask. How do we know? Do we have anything in place? Are there any means or mechanism in place that would alert us that we are on the tsunami watch? Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, thank you. You are live on Voices.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I didn't even know that there was something about the sea. I ventured yesterday to Philly Bay and realized and saw how rough the water was with a lot of weed. Mm-hmm. And the seawater had different colors. And what I was glad to see that this Coast Guard was there.
Good.
Just in case any mishap, if anybody has to venture into the seawater. I saw the Coast Guard, there was not the boat itself, but they was driving along. Mm-hmm. So I was glad to see that.
That's very good.
The Coast Guard was out.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. That's what it is. People are relying on the fact that people are going to hear it or get met on WhatsApp and the other social mediums. But we have to have some mechanism in place where we can notify and alert people what is really happening. There's some people who are not social media savvy. There are a lot of people who have cell phones but don't even know how to use them, and we can't think that these people are reliably informed by the media, by the different mediums that are out there. Young people are more in tune, but the older ones, they're not in tune. And we have to prepare. Natural disasters, we have to prepare. I mean, it's when you look at what's happening right now, everything is changing. The weather pattern is changing. I look at the sunset Saturday. It was beautiful, but it was strange. It was so red. It was so many different colors. Let's go to the phone line and take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices. Can you turn the radio down, please?
Good morning.
Hi, morning.
And good morning to the listeners on my board. Carl Brown here.
Hey, Carl.
Madam Lady, you see, they've been sending out a lot of reports on social media concerning the weather and the changes that is going to be taking place. And the people are right on par.
Yep.
Whoever the source is right on par and up to date. And we see what is happening. It's just this morning I got a call from Old Road saying one half of the water is blue and one half is green.
What color the sky is? What color the sky is?
Well, right now the sky is an irregular color on a normal hot day like today. Blue and white.
Oh, boy. You agree that it is very strange. There's some strange. You agree that it is very strange. The weather pattern is very, very strange.
Oh yes, very strange. And what your weather is fake news or whatever news come around, and you see that there, I think you should take it quite serious because what has been put out there, it is happening to exactly what they are sending out on social media.
You saw
and we should not take any chances because we look at other news and we see what is happening around the world, and it's not just in the Caribbean, but it's quite around the world.
You saw this.
People are having different weather patterns. Some are having mudslide, riverbanks bursting. Some are having snow. And see what is happening. So we gotta keep on par with it. And yet we would know when anything going on because there in Trinidad, Antigua base, the other worldwide media, all we have to do is stay in tune, and we are here. We know when something is gonna be happening.
Okay. You saw the one going around about the ice in St. Martin? You saw that?
Well, you saw the one this morning with what's happening there in Nevis?
No, what?
They sent you on a thing where the water is bursting over the pier and bursting up in the street all there by TDC and so.
I didn't see that one. But you heard
out this morning.
You heard about
9 pictures of it.
Oh. And you see, the thing about what's his name, Mark Twain, is that true?
Well, we're still trying to get that confirmed. I don't say nothing unless I get it confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing, last week I spoke about the port in Weir's Garden. Well, the department, they carry a port and have it there on the ground to replace the port that is there badly broken.
Good.
Right?
What about the stench?
I must give them a high note of praise and thanks because there was a post in my yard, and I wrote to the minister and I wrote to the manager of Skelec, and they came and they removed the post and they did all that they have to do and put it outside on their part of their bound.
Okay, good. What about the stench at Best Buy and Breweries?
Oh, no, they haven't looked after that yet.
That hasn't been looked after. Okay, great. Thanks, Carl. Thanks for your...
Yeah, it's full of them now,
Oh, that's Best Buy, Breweries, Buckley's, and where else?
He have 2 between the brewery and the bottling company. They have two up by Best Boy,
Okay.
and nobody is looking into them. You could see the pallet right there, right in front of Best Boy store downstairs as you go up the step. Over by the bus station, the pallet is there, and they're there for over 2 years.
Well, I'll call the health
And
department.
same condition.
Yeah, health department needs to get involved. They
And
need.
not only that, there is one right there by the terminal on the other side where the people are selling jelly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one they're full right up with dirt and smell very horrible.
Well, I
A friend of mine just went there and put a board over it. It's completely full right up. Water cannot even go down.
Okay. Well, I suppose we hope that the people who can do something about it is listening. I saw that they're digging out a lot of dirt from the different trenches. So I hope that somebody would address that problem. Carl, thank you for your contribution as usual.
Yes, my God.
And I'll listen out for you later again. Yeah, we have one more caller. Let's take this caller. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, good morning, hostess.
Hi, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Oh, not bad, thanks. Really, it's quite amazing in these days to see how the change of nature is taking place. I, for one, am very observant because I have never really witnessed the frequency of earthquakes in these couple of months. In the sense that you have it in St. Martin, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Guadeloupe, Martinique, even here in St. Kitts and Nevis, the frequency of earthquakes. And so you're discussing this morning the behavior of the ocean, the sea. In recent years, we have heard that the hottest year on record have been for the past maybe couple, 3 years or so in history. And all of these are not things that are taking place are not by coincidence. The Bible foretold, and those who don't want to believe, it's a matter of them, but they are witnessing, they are feeling it, that these are the signs that would really take place just before the appearance of Jesus Christ. It's no coincidence, hostess, that what we are having now in North Korea and America, these leaders are threatening each other, and most recently with Russia, with nuclear weapons. They are openly threatening. And with all of these weather pattern and nature, it's not a coincidence. All of these are coming together. And it's left for us as a people today to be ready, to be prepared, because something seems like it's around the corner. These earthquakes, for instance, you haven't been hearing about these earthquakes taking place around the Caribbean?
Sure.
You're feeling them. And as far as I'm concerned, this is no coincidence. You have the increase of violence, corruption, all of these, the Bible told you, taking place at the same time. Nature is changing. And I am glad, as a Bible believer, one who believes in Bible prophecy, that I am alive to see this and witness this, because better days are coming. When we have the hope that this world will be a better world, when the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, Jesus Christ, put in his appearance and would give us peace at last, peace that mankind been struggling to really get over the years. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your sermon. So it was, well, we have to know these things. These things are for real. We are seeing it happen. I don't know which medium I should listen to, but it is happening. This program is sponsored, the first half, by TDC Rams and Flo. Let's hear from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
Here comes the sun.
Sun quick.
Here comes the sun.
Sun quick.
Sunny flavors for everyone. Natural, tasty, full of vitamin C. The drink for the whole family. It's Sun Quick. Sun Quick Drink Concentrate gives you 40 glasses. 9 delicious flavors to choose from.
Orange tropical mango.
Peach orange, orange apricot, black currant.
Apple. Red orange. Red fruit.
Bursting with vitamin C.
Sun quick.
Natural, tasty, full of vitamin C. The drink for the whole family. It's Sun Quick.
Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/ramsupermarket. Follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/ramsupermarket. And subscribe to us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/ramsupermarket.
I'll take a small.
XL, that's the size for me.
Flo's new prepaid combo plans have the most choice and value for everyone. Save up to 90% by combining your talk, text, and data into one simple plan. And with options starting at just $19.99, it's easy to say it, type it, or share it. A whole lot more for a whole lot less. Dial *129# now to activate. The bigger you go, the bigger you save with Flo's new prepaid combo plans. This is how we flow.
This public service announcement is brought to you by TDC Insurance Company Limited.
The brakes on your vehicle should be in tip-top shape. These tips are signs that your brakes are ready for changing. If you feel a pull to the side as you brake, it may mean there is a need to do a brake adjustment or the brake fluid needs to be drained. Loud metallic sounds or growling as you brake is an indication that your brake pads are worn completely and need replacement immediately. If this is delayed, it may scratch your rotors or create permanent damage, which could mean a replacement is necessary.
This public service announcement was brought to you by TDC Insurance Company Limited.
TDCIC, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
Okay, welcome back. Beaching of the whales. We had some whales being beached in Indian Castle over there in Nevis. And we were wondering how strange it could have been. We have 11 whales just knock shore. And I knew it was strange. And when we start reading up and you look up and see what would cause whales to beach, we have different areas, contributing factors that would cause. And one of it was, different sonar waves, the movement in the Earth's crust, and other things. The whale could have been sick, and because of the fact that they're so loyal, they would follow one another, each other, and they would beach. But when we look at the weather pattern now, the seawater, the weather is beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful on the outside. And then the seawater is just doing what it wants to do. What is happening? I wish somebody who have information, good information, can call in and give us some idea of what is really happening. We know that strange things are happening, but we don't have an understanding of why these are happening. I know the Christians are saying that Christ is coming and that we should be prepared, but whether or not we believe that Christ is coming and we are preparing for heaven. Let's start preparing just in case there's an emergency or we are really going to experience a tsunami. Make sure that you have food stuff packed in the back of your car, you have blankets, you have things that are necessary, searchlights. It's not just hurricanes that you have to do these things, because you might have to go to higher ground in the event that there's a tsunami alert or there's a tsunami approaching. We have minutes in order to get ready. So what I'm asking, as a concerned citizen and a love of humans, is that we can pack certain stuff. We might look crazy, but we don't know. We are seeing things that are happening that we are not accustomed to happening. Some of us are panicking, some of us might be exaggerating, but something is happening. So, what I would advise is that you pack some little stuff, and for those of you who are driving, put them in the back of the car. Those who have kids, take them into consideration. And the caller we have on the line, you're live on Voices. Go right ahead, please.
Hey, good morning again.
Hey, morning, Carl. Mm-hmm.
Madam Lady, I want to address a matter there that needs to be addressed. And Yeah, say we have this thing repeating, and then it's concerning these local and foreign investors that are doing business on the beach, right? And they advertise us as having some of the best beaches in the Caribbean and could be rated in the world. Here the thing that is very disgusting about it. Here the lovely beaches, and we have all the water sports, and we have the nice restaurants and bars and thing on the beach. But we have no lifeguard lookout posts. We have no lifeguard around for any form of emergency and rescue.
Very good, Carl. Very good.
We cannot be doing business and advertising to the world these best beaches in the world, advertising sea, sun and sand, and the locals and visitors goes to the beach, and then when you look, you hear shout, somebody drowned. No, not saying that nobody would drown if you don't have a if you have lifeguard and lifeguard lookout post, but it will save a lot of life. It will enhance your business, and you will get more people coming because they will feel safer at your beach because they know you have a lifeguard lookout post. You have lifeguard in times of rescue and trouble. And I can't see why we are so backward behind putting on all these nice hotels, world-class hotels by the beach, but we don't have lifeguard and lifeguard lookout posts.
It's amazing you say that, though, Carl, because we've had a situation there. I heard, I'm not sure, I still yet can't confirm, there was an accident, a boat accident, which involved a tourist and a boat. And I said the same thing. If you had lifeguards or people on the beach, you could have notified, and the people who swim in the no swim area because the boats are traveling in the area, and these things have to be controlled. We have tourists coming in and they're taking part. They're on this. Then they think it's a free for all, swim wherever you want to situation. And I do agree with you. I agree with you, Carl. I do.
He must not, because if you have lifeguard lookout posts, you would have somebody up there with the horn and would be alerting their co-workers on the ground to ask those people to not to swim or to fish or, to do any form of thing, because over there is a dangerous area and, that sort of thing. When you have those lifeguards, they do wonderful work. And not only that, it creates employment for other people. Right? But these people want to run this thing cheap and normal, way back from, 40s and 50s. And so we are moving on, and you have to move with the time. And you know what will take them to do that? When somebody give one of those places a hot soup. And when they hear the numbers that they're asking, you're going to see everybody start to put it in place.
It's true.
Another thing, I am waiting on the government and I'm waiting on private citizens to start attaching catchment of water and adding cisterns to the home. You see these big hotels they putting on, madam? You know what a strain they're going to be taking on our water if we don't start preparing now and start saving some of that special water that we have saving up in case of emergency. If we continue put on these 300 and odd rooms hotel, that water that we are saving is not going to be enough, and it's not going to last much time longer.
But they're not coming with desalination plants? Those on the beach side?
Some of them is not putting on no salination plants. And look at it again. When these tourist ships come here, look at the millions of gallons of water they go on a daily basis. They go with.
It's true. Then sometimes I wonder how come we are not in the position of a government, Carl, because you have all the information, you have all the ideas. I think they should definitely give you a position where you can go out and you can seek that kind of information. Carl,
Madam Lady, I did not went to Harvard, eh?
No, you don't have to.
I may have no alphabet letters, no doctorate and no master's degree and no associate degree, right? But they will pay somebody, a white person come from overseas, saying the very same words I'm saying, and pay them thousands of US dollars.
Oh.
Look at the monkey thing a couple of years ago. All the years, everybody know that is my brainchild, right? They bring a doctor from Cuba to study down here in Sinkit for a couple of weeks to tell them we got more than 50,000 monkeys, and everybody know I've been saying that for years. They ain't pay me nothing but they pay here thousands of US dollars. Take him over to Nevis for a couple of weeks. When he done, the doctor said the very same words I'm saying. We can use the monkey for consumption. We can use them to ship them overseas and bring in foreign income from them. We can use them to do other things, and we have to decrease the monkey population. Ask everybody how much here they saying those same words. They pay the man thousands of US dollars because he named Dr. So-and-so. Come here, say the same words, say the very same thing I saying for years must do. And he get thousands of US dollars because he carrying doctorate to his name.
I do understand that.
So this is the thing, ma'am. Once you're carrying a title, an educational title to your name, they don't take you on.
Sure.
But they take on somebody who come and they pay them thousands of dollars to say what we hear, knowing and saying and doing for years.
Carl, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your you're so right. Thank you for your contribution, Carl. Voices is sponsored by TDC Rams and Flow for the first hour. Let's hear from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and we'll hear from you.
I'll take a small.
XL, that's the size for me. Flow's new prepaid combo plans have the most choice and value for everyone. Save up to 90% by combining your talk, text, and data into one simple plan. And with options starting at just $19.99, it's easy to say it, type it, or share it. A whole lot more for a whole lot less. Dial *129# now to activate. The bigger you go, the bigger you save with Flow's new prepaid combo plans. This is how we flow.
Quench me thirst, I bust that time now. Watch me, I bust and smile out. Boy. Freestyle, free buster, a freestyle. Watch me, I play in full color, meanwhile. Whole heap of flavor, every one of them tries. The drink are refreshing and nice. Me tell you, say, I buster, me buy you with my money. This time everybody drink, I know me one love it. Have it, yeah, for the kids, them daddy harmony. Buster, we playing full color. Correct, I am here.
Call it all farmers! Call it all farmers! The place to shop in the month of March is the TDC Home and Building Depots. You heard right. Get 20% off all agro products. Participate in the in-store demonstrations. And on Saturday 17th, visit the farmers market to purchase your fresh produce direct from the farm to your table from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. in both locations. TDC Home and Building Depots, celebrating farmers, supporting communities. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices. I think we would have lost that caller. The advisories are out. I've seen some pictures of people standing close to the seashore, watching the waves come crashing in, and then they start to run. We have to be very careful. We don't know what is happening. We don't have an understanding of what is happening. It might be exciting to some people, but please, I would ask. A caller just calling and said that the waves are crashing on the seafront in Nevis and over the pier. We stay away from the ocean. The advisories are out, and we ask that we don't want to lose lives. We want to preserve lives. So it might be an excitement to some. Look at it from a distance. Please stay clear from the oceans. We have a call online. Let's go to the lines now. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hello, how are you today, Sancho?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, your phone line is a disaster. I'm on Mr. Backus to fix it because, like I said, you're dropping like a rock, FNC is cleaning eating your lunch. Anyhow.
Oh.
You're right. And you seem to have an urgency about it that the other people don't seem to appreciate. I'm convinced that something is definitely brewing in the area. Because, I'm sure everybody have noticed this, like the past month and a half. I've been here for a little while. And It's been cold like New England, New York somewhere. Cold, very cold. I've never seen it this cold. And so something is happening. I think most likely the tsunami is going to head this way, come past Sinkers. And maybe the people need a waking up because, we have lost the ways of people. Listen to all these fools get up here. There's no God, especially these one always calling up the way. There's no God. They said, keep your opinion to yourself. And you turn your back on him, he's going to turn his back on you. And you see a lot of them. You see even like the guts, they're coming down again. To all these guts are coming again. The guts didn't want for a while, they're coming again, And there's a gut near me. The building board put a man in that gut. So you know what's going to happen. I'm worried myself. It's going to wash him out. The man going to get washed out. The building board did that. In Mississippi, the Mississippi River, right?
Mm-hmm.
People came, they tried to ease the houses near the Mississippi River, wherever it's transiting, right? And they were able to do it for 30 years, whatever. But after that, the Mississippi come and wipe them all out. Wipe them out. And just a few years ago. So they're playing with nature, and people don't realize it. You see the guts coming back and all these stuff. It's a mess. But a lot of it has to do with the corruption and greed of our people, and you're going to get hit, people.
Yep.
You're going to get hit for your wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the lamppost. The guy who was speaking earlier, your friend here, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
The lampposts are still leaning all over. Why don't Skelly hire some extra men and have them, straighten these lampposts? There's one right there in St. John's, Cadden Avenue and Keyon Street. It's a school right there. That lamppost is going to fall on the kids. It's leaning. You go coming up Mattingly, the first lamppost on your right, coming up the main. The lamppost is leaning on the side. Nobody's doing. There's another one there by the gas station there, whatever gas station that is. They're leaning. Why don't they go and get these things done? They're going to fall and hit people. But something is brewing. Like I said, just the coldness that I noticed in Sinking. I mean, very cold, like New England. It's crazy. But something is brewing. So you keep preaching that message, okay?
Thank you,
but
darling.
The wickedness, the people are going to pay for their wickedness and corruption and thievery. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Yeah, I've said it before. It's the energy that we are putting out there in the atmosphere. We think it's, anger is an energy force. The hatred is an energy force. Corruption is an energy, and these are the negative energies that we're putting in the atmosphere, and it causes destruction. We are seeing it, whether or not we want to believe it. There's some people who have their own belief. Christians believe that it's the wickedness that you would have done, and God is going to punish you for your wickedness, and that's their belief. And then there are other people who feel, there's people who believe in scienceology, that it's whatever you put out there in the atmosphere is exactly what you get. Nature is going to nature is going to retaliate. We have done lots of crazy stuff to the atmosphere, the things, and when we talk about things that are not eco-friendly, we don't understand that term. We mean that we are destroying the ozone layer, the sprays and the perfumes and those fresheners that you're using to make sure that your house smells nice and good. It's negative effects are posing some serious problem on the environment. I don't know enough because I'm not a doctor of science, and but the little that you recognize, you're now seeing the effects of these things. We've been told about them for years. We've been hearing about them, and we haven't done anything about them. We just live life as thinking that that's what it is. But whatever you put out there is exactly what we're going to get back, and nature is going to retaliate. We have earthquakes. I called a call in earlier, and he said that they haven't seen, they can't remember, feeling this. Every time you turn your radio on, or every time you go on the internet, you see that there have been an earthquake somewhere, and the earth is shaking. Why? I don't know. And we're not being told why, and we're just going along life like it's a norm. It is the normal thing for the earth to shake. It's a normal thing for us to have hurricanes. But look at the hurricanes that we're having. They can't even register on They don't have they can't be registered because of the strength of the hurricanes. 150 miles per hour was categorized as a category 5, over 150 miles per hour, category 5. No, they exceeded that, 200 miles per hour winds that we have to look. Hurricane Irma and Maria last year, we saw the destruction that it would have that would have been brought to not us but to other Caribbean islands. Let's go to the phone line and take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, Madam Atherton. I'm going to have to come sort out y'all here because number of y'all lines are not working.
Yeah, and it's making me talk a lot.
One of the things we find that are causing these earthquakes are man-made, Lots of them,
The earth is shifting, Carl. We know that. I don't know. I can't verify that they are man-made, but the earth is
been
shifting.
shifting all before our life. But here what is happening. All of these constant impact of these earthquakes are caused by we men and are caused by governments of the world.
It's a conspiracy, you're saying? You're saying it's a conspiracy?
In North Korea and all those other people that do of these missiles and things. You see when those things, the test pass or fail, you see what kind of rumbling it caused.
Okay.
And if you check out, look where you see most the earthquakes are coming down the line. From those same countries that are doing all these missile testing, and you see where they drop? In the sea. Why you think we having all these sudden tsunamis and flooding and sudden rising wave and that sort of thing? All these things they put out there. Look at it, you see.
Yeah, I know. Like I said before, we are contributing to a lot of the disasters, natural disasters that we're having, or phenomenons that we're having. I don't know if I thought you were talking about it was a conspiracy. Yeah, we are contributing. Definitely, we are contributing. We are cutting down.
We are contributing largely.
Yeah, the major contributors.
Because every time you have these testing, these rocket launching, and all kind of missile tests, and all kind of sinking of these big ships in the ocean. He rumbles. He rumbles what was calm and sitting still there all the time. You know what we're gonna have happening very soon, rapidly behind us things? Volcanoes that are what we call dead or asleep gonna start erupting very fast and things, because all of these bomb you see America and England and all of them are dropped all down in those parts down there, and Iraq and Afghanistan and all those things here. Those rumbling of all those constant bombing going to start erupting volcanoes, and they better be careful, because they may think that they're bombing a missile site or thing, and the people could set them up and they erupt several volcanoes that were sitting there. And all those things run down the line, come right down here to us. We feel the effect of what is happening up there, because it comes down to us.
Yeah. Okay, Carl, thank you for your contribution.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. One of the things that we recognize, too, is that we know that the trees, the importance of the trees for carbon dioxide and the absorption of carbon dioxide and the emission of oxygen. I've read, I don't know, there are a lot of things on the internet, and you can't take everything at face value. You have to have a good understanding of what you're reading sometimes. But I'm not going to be scared all by myself. I'm going to see if I can scare everybody else, and everybody will feel the same way I'm feeling sometimes when you start reading these things and they're out there where the Arctic is melting. That is a known fact. Scientists say now, and it's melting faster than it really should. And one of the concerns are that there's a serious amount of carbon dioxide sitting down there. And the question is, when all of that ice is melted and all that carbon is starting to be emitted into the atmosphere, whether or not we have enough trees that can absorb, and whether or not, or how long, and the effects it would have on us as humans. Carl said, I can't say there's a conspiracy, and now I understand that he doesn't mean that it's a conspiracy, but we are contributing based on the way we live, the things that the plastics and all those things that they've been talking about for the longest while. Go green, you hear everybody talking about green energy and stop using fossil fuels for energy because of the effects it's having on the atmosphere. We are now recognizing that it is posing some problems. Let's go to the phone lines and take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Even the way how we dump our garbage,
Yep.
it empty lots and in the seawater.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, just before Fugi, but the sky was looking a kind of funny. We was just saying and so on, somewhere smoking, maybe a cane field or house. But only to find out when we reached into town, it was raining. So the sky was looking funny.
Strange phenomenon. It's strange for the pattern. It's just so strange. Thank you for your contribution. It's like I said, it's what it is. We have caused lots of damage to Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is dying. And how do we expect to live when we would have killed out our source of living? It is frightening for me. We have to play our own parts. Simple thing is showing love. Maybe that again is needed, seriously needed. The love that we have to start putting back out there in the atmosphere, being your brother's keeper, loving your neighbors, trying to see how much we can control our anger, because like I said, those are negative energies that we're putting out in the atmosphere and that is posing lots of problems. It is killing Mother Earth, and if that is the case, then we're looking seriously. Like I said, Christians have to believe that Christ is going to come, and he's going to take you into a place that he is going to prepare for you. And what about some of the other people who doesn't believe that? Where do you go? Let's go to the phone lines and take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, good morning, hostess.
Good morning, sir.
I called back because I want to continue on with the issues that we are experiencing here. Now, from a biblical standpoint, I'm going to read from Luke chapter 21 and to tell you what we are witnessing today in the environment is biblical evidence of Christ's return. I'm reading from Luke 21, 25 to 26 at least.
Oh,
and there shall be signs in the sun.
Caller, I do understand you want to read, but can you do it in pieces so that somebody else can call in
pieces, just two verses.
Yeah,
ma'am.
Thank you.
And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the wave roaring. Men heart failing them for fear, for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That is what I'm saying. What we are seeing with the threat of nuclear war, and remember Jesus said, unless it shorten, unless it intervene in the affair of mankind, no flesh will be saved. And God knows what is going to be taking place with North Korea and America plus Russia. These signs are all culminating at the same time. So this is biblical. This is foretold by Jesus himself. The sea and the wave roaring, men heart failing them for fear. And this is what we are seeing. Jesus would actually shorten the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. That's why I take Hawthorne berries, because I want to strengthen my heart muscles and make sure that our heart is strong enough to see what it is. It is the reality of things. I mean, fear is a factor, but it is the reality. We can't change it. We might be able to if we start doing what we're supposed to do now. But I think it's basically spiraling out of control. We are going to be afraid. Like I said, Christians have hope because they believe that they are going to be caught up. What about you or the others who can see what is happening and recognize that something is happening? What I say to you guys is make sure that you can prepare. It might sound crazy, but Make sure you have little food stashed away somewhere. Put it in your car. So if by chance you have to run to the hills for refuge from those tsunamis that are going to come, if they're going to come, you have a little food stash. You might have a blanket and some clothes. If you have young children, you have to start to pack little things in the back of your car. Take out the junk and put things away. It might sound crazy, but it's just some things that you should do. You can do. For me, for peace of mind, I would do things like that. I'm going to buy some crackers and some things that cannot spoil easily, and I'm going to stick them in the back of the car, rotate them. If I keep them for a week, I'm going to put them to eat them this time and then put in some next time. Those are things that you can do, and I hope, I mean, for me, it's a natural phenomenon. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know why it's happening, but it is happening. Nobody can give you answers. You just wake up one morning and you have all these advisories. The weather is beautiful. The sun is shining. The skies are blue. They have a beautiful breeze. And then you have the seawater just doing the strange things. Why? I'm on the shoreline in St. Martin. These waves are crashing. I look at them on the internet. I wanted to know if if it's recent or if it's something that pictures people have been taking, because there's so much propaganda going around and fake news going around on the internet. You don't know what is true or what is not true, but then you can see it here. You can see my friend called me yesterday and she told me the waves are not coming straight forward. They're shifting eastwards. It's strange. My girlfriend, she went walking this morning and she said when she reached up by Shiggity Shack, the water has come all the way up. I mean, you're walking and the water is just gently coming in, but you don't know when you're going to have one of those crashing wave coming up, and you might be just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it can pull you out. We have rip currents out there. They've started to talk about that. Rip currents is go strong as you can swim. Sometimes you panic because you're swimming in one direction and the water is taking you in another direction, and you tend to panic. And those are things that you have to be very much wary of. You have to be aware that these things are happening, and you just have to take warning. Like I said, we have contributed to this. The way we've lived, we can start to address what we're doing now and see how we can be better people. If you're a Christian and you want to make it to heaven, you know you have to be good. If you're not good, you're not going to make it. So maybe people have to start to look at themselves seriously. If you're a serious Christian, then you do what the Bible says you should do. If you believe that love can change everything, then you have to start to love whatever you believe in, and as long as it's positive, then you have to start doing those positive things and making sure that it would heal the world, it would heal the earth. Yeah, let's talk about having Vladimir Putin hands on the trigger. You have Kim Jong-un, and we have also a caller online. Let's take this caller. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Sandra, good morning.
Hey, morning.
I think it's my logo sign. I'm calling from Hampshire.
Yeah. What's happening up there?
And let me say morning to everybody at the sound of my voice. Well, basically the same thing. The waves them pounding away. It was nice to hear my brother from the mayor from Half a Tree. Actually, the scriptures. Sandra, you said something one little while ago. Like, some may believe, but one thing that not believe. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But, as me say already, God plan, I just God plan. Whether you believe or not, stop the plan.
It's true.
You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I may make an example. A hurricane come down the road. The weatherman said the hurricane come down the road. But there is some that still tell you, no hurricane come. They don't believe, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
But the hurricane come. So even them that no believe, me stop the hurricane from come, right or wrong?
It's true.
You get me fine?
Yeah, getting it. I got it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether you believe or not, you get me? Me not force nobody to believe.
It's true.
But God plan is just God plan. You get me?
Yep.
Exactly. After lunch, we will come back and develop the point.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for calling. So yeah, that's the caller is saying. Whether or not you believe, it's if you can't predict, you can prepare. I've always believed in that. We had a caller online. I think we might have lost that caller. Okay, we'd have lost that caller. Yeah, you can predict, but you can prepare. We have 2 more minutes before our news time. I want to thank those of you who would have contributed to the program. And we know that the reason why I'm saying this now is because the program is sponsored and our sponsors have to get some time too, and have really taken some of their time away. So we're going to hear from the sponsors, and then we're going to get the 12 o'clock, the midday news. And after the midday news, we will be back with the continuation of Voices. The first half has been sponsored by TDC, Rams, and let's hear from Flo.
Imagine a place that has all that you need, all of the things for your business to succeed. Furniture, copiers, laptops and more. TDC Business Center is your #1 store. Print and copy and scan and fax. Our copy center does all of that. If you're having a party and you need chairs and tents, we've got all your needs at Grand Rentals for rent. The TDC Business Center has everything your business needs. Superior copy and printing services, business equipment and furniture, and a wide array of renting materials for all occasions. TDC Business Center, providing solutions that work.
I'll take a small.
XL, that's the size for me. Flo's new prepaid combo plans have the most choice and value for everyone. Save up to 90% by combining your talk, text, and data into one simple plan. And with options starting at just $19.99, it's easy to say it, type it, or share it. A whole lot more for a whole lot less. Dial *129# now to activate. The bigger you go, the bigger you save with Flo's new prepaid combo plans. This is how we flow.
Quicks, 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 quicks cleans many, 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 many dishes and many, 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 many more.
Quicks cleans many, 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 many dishes and many, 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 many more.
Yes, Quicks cleans many, 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 many dishes and many, 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 many more.
Just 1 spoonful of concentrated Quicks cleans your whole sink full of dishes. Quicks, 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 clean.
Quicks cleans many, 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 many dishes and many, 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 many more.
Quicks, we wash more dishes.
Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/ramsupermarket. Follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/ramsupermarket. And subscribe to us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/ramsupermarket.
Found the sound 99.9 FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, FamCare, Subway, Carib Brewery, and CNC Trading.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air. We get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises, telephone number 466-9595.
BioCare Lab says it's your hair, so wear it your way with Curls and Naturals Hair Care Solutions. Start it right with Curls and Naturals Texturizer Hair Softener. Infused with Moroccan argan oil and maintain it with a Dream Curl Cream with honey and shea butter, all with daily moisturizing anti-fizz and shine serum. For locks and twists, nourish them with a curl defining custard and see them grow. It's your hair. Wear it your way with Curls and Naturals. A brand new you every day.
Curls and Natural, sold locally by CNC Trading on the CAP Southwell Industrial Site. Telephone 465-4081.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts, offering 24-hour nursing, therapeutic, and residential care for older adults? It's situated at Otley, 7 miles east of Vastair in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodation to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020, fax 466-8221, or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
I want it cold, blue and gold, real beer, one of a kind. When you dry, you can't deny one beer is on your mind. Carib. I need a real beer, yeah. I feel that special magic when I open the gold crown. Carib the beer for me, Carib the beer for you. Carib beer, you know we grow, beastly cold right on cue. Carib beer, you know it's true, it's a part of me, a part of you. Carib.
Real beer is Carib.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we've got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Come to Subway and eat fresh. Try our daily specials. That's right, we have a special every day at Subway. Come in today and eat fresh. Stay healthy.
Taxi operators who work around the Berkeley Memorial or Circus area are voicing concerns over several recent incidents of violence that threaten to interfere with the tourism product of the island, as well as significantly impact their source of work. The vocalizing of their concerns come after an apparent gang-related incident just after midday on March 3rd, where several young men threw rocks and bottles after each other around the circus area with no regard for life or property. Passers-by had to run and duck for cover to avoid sustaining any injuries. Thankfully, there were no reports of injury, but at least 2 taxi operators had their vehicles damaged. The windscreen for one vehicle was shattered, while the side view mirror for another was broken off. This was the 3rd such reported incident in the area in less than 2 months. Tourists have been caught in the middle of the disputes and have suffered injuries. One taxi operator called for increased security and better lighting around the circus area.
I think there need to be more security within the Bastille area, in the tourism sector and everything. Now, the reason why I said that, we apply our trade right here at the taxi stand, right? And sometimes at night, you could barely see the place lit, you could barely see any security passing on. Most taxi drivers right now wouldn't even walk past 9 o'clock right now because no safety for one, the lighting is very poor, and we have to be very careful. Now, lately we saw an incident the other day where some guys was fighting, and apparently a bottle ricocheted and hit a tourist. Now, if we don't start to deal with this now, what happened if it become more serious and somebody get seriously injured? What are we gonna say who work in the tourism industry? Are we just gonna stop by and say, our young people, we who work in this industry have to protect it? And it means that we got to call out right from wrong, and these things are happening with our young, so we have to call them out on it.
Several attempts were made to reach the Commissioner of Police to address the concerns, but Win FM was unsuccessful up to press time to source a comment. Earlier in the year, when the police rolled out their plan of action for 2018, Police Commissioner Ian Quealy stated that, quote, creating and maintaining public safety and an atmosphere of peace and tranquility are among the most fundamental obligations of the police to the public, end of quote. He also promoted a closer working relationship between the police and the community. Over the past weeks, Win FM has observed additional patrols along the 4th Street area, which is directly above the circus.
That was the signal that Team Nevis had emerged winners of the 46th Annual Leeward Islands Debating Competition, LIDC, which took place from 2nd to 4th March 2018 in Anguilla. Nevis was represented by a team of 6 debaters: Miss Delcia Burke, Mr. Kajal Smithen, Miss Lauren Lawrence, Mr. Mikel Maloney, Mr. Raul J. Williams, and Miss Tassai Pemberton. Their staff sponsor was Senior Policy Officer within the Nevis Island Administration, Mr. Anselm Keynes. The 2 team members who participated in the final debate were Mr. Raul J. Williams and Mr. Kajal Smithen. In the first matchup on Friday, 2nd March, Antigua took on St. Martin, debating the moot, mental health issues among Caribbean adolescents have largely been ignored. St. Martin was successful, advancing to the final round of the debate competition. In the second matchup on Saturday, 3rd March, Nevis came up against Anguilla, debating the moot, climate change supersedes crime and drug trafficking as the greatest threat to the stability and development of the Caribbean. Nevis emerged successful from this debate and advanced to the final round of LIDC, where they debated against St. Martin. The final debate, which took place on 4th March 2018, featured a rigorous play of words on the moot: Black people's suspicion and resentment of white people is justified. Team St. Martin proposed the moot, offering statements such as,
Bob Marley's redemption song is about redeeming the suffering that his people have faced. After years of colonization, foreign empires that took over the Caribbean have caused the poor and the oppressed to believe that they are worthless. We believe that Bob Marley was telling the black people to free yourself from mental slavery. Do not be led by a white man because you are stronger than him. Be your own Martin Luther King Jr., your own Malcolm X, your own Marcus Garvey, all rolled into one. The pain, the suspicion, the resentment towards whites that the black man has endured and continues to endure is justified.
While Team Nevis opposed the moot, advancing the following argument.
Institutions such as slavery and apartheid were wholly unjust, and anyone would be foolhardy to declare otherwise. However, the malice that blacks presently hold against whites for these historical wrongs is unjustified. Moreover, starting in 1804, many African and Caribbean nations attained independence and the right to self-determination. Indeed, several black nations such as Jamaica, Nigeria, and Ghana can proudly say that they have been governing their own affairs in excess of 50 years. When Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa in 1994, instead of reclaiming the land from the murderous apartheid leaders for the dispossessed blacks, he instead held truth and reconciliation commissions, where the whites spoke openly about the atrocities they committed against blacks. The tangible results of these commissions? Absolutely nothing. White South Africans retained all the stolen lands. Mandela dropped the ball. Yes, moderator, I'm going there.
St. Kitts, a usual participant in the Leeward Islands debating competition, did not participate this year. This win by Nevis is a two-peat since the island won LIDC in 2017.
Despite the agriculture sector being severely impacted by the 2 Category 5 hurricanes last September, local farmers still managed to produce more crops in 2017 compared to the previous year. Director of Agriculture Melvin James said had it not been for the storms, crop farmers in St. Kitts were well on their way to recording an even larger increase in fruits and vegetables.
We were on our way in 2017 until our progress was significantly checked by 2 major devastating hurricanes. The hurricanes brought significant damages. You know, they destroyed much of our vegetation, many farm structures, livestock themselves succumbed, roads were damaged, the infrastructure impacted, soil loss, something we don't speak a lot about, farm structures, and overall we were losing some $4 million. Nonetheless, Farmers clearly took advantage of the good weather which came in the first 9 months of 2017. And we were able to increase our overall output from 922 metric tons in 2016 to 1,094 metric tons in 2017. In fact, up to August, we were recording a 20% increase over 2016.
Mr. James spoke to some of the successes in last year's crop production.
Notwithstanding, we noticed increases in 7 crops. One of our greatest success was in the area of pineapples. We had just done 2.3 metric tons in 2016, and we had gone up to 5.7 difference, and that represented a 247% increase for pineapples. In the area of sweet pepper, we had moved from 41.4 metric tons in 2016 to an impressive 110.7 in 2017, representing a 167.39% increase. Other major successes came in the area of cucumber, onions. Onions, we did 13.5 metric tons greater in 2017 than in 2016.
Output for 2 of the more prolific crops did not fare as well.
One of our areas of disappointment had to do with reduced output in 2 of our traditional crops, mainly sweet potato and pumpkins. Sweet potato production in 2017 was 172.3 metric tons compared to 181.9 metric tons before, representing a loss of 5%. Sweet potato and, as I said, pumpkins are 2 very traditional crops which have been identified as crops with very good market potential for us to market to the Northern Caribbean in places like St. Martin, the British Virgin Islands, Anguilla. And so we would expect that we would be always up there, but unfortunately that was not the case on this occasion.
There was also a dip in the production of beef and mutton.
Unfortunately, in the period under review, the livestock sector did not change significantly. Total output in 2016 was 144.74 metric tons, and it fell to 144.40 the following year. Beef and mutton declined by some 5%, but goat meat increased from 572 metric tons to 608.2, an increase of 6.3%. This, in fact, was the brightest light in what we normally produce.
The Director of Agriculture said several programs and initiatives in the sector aimed at increasing the level of production and quality of the produce and livestock are underway, and through collaboration with regional agencies and the Taiwanese government, a few more will be implemented in the near future.
The government of St. Kitts and Nevis signed an agreement on Sunday that will initiate the construction of a new luxury hotel and spa on the island. The signing is the first major step to the creation of a 6 Sense hotel resort and spa in the La Valley Greens area of St. Kitts. The agreement is said to include a number of incentives and commitments, one of which is a recommendation that hotel employees spend over 10,000 hours annually on community service activities. Another incentive said to be included in the agreement is the creation of 15 internships for hospitality students annually, as well as other scholarship opportunities. Wage Developments is no stranger to St. Kitts, as the company opened the 26-room Park Hyatt St. Kitts in November of 2017. Construction of the 6 Sense St. Kitts is expected to take just over 2 years and is expected to create 300 permanent jobs upon completion.
This is the Carib Update News Service, and reporting, I am Oslin Crosby. Antigua's main opposition launches election campaign ahead of March 21 poll. This is the big story we are tracking this hour on the edition of Newsbreak for Monday, March 5th, 2018.
Come and experience fun, meet amazing people, and enjoy fantastic food at the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of festivities from June 27th to July 1st of 2018, with main stage performances from the 28th to the 30th. Here's the first wave of confirmed acts. The legendary Patti LaBelle, Queen of Dancehall, Spice, Miss Lauryn Hill. Many more acts to be announced. Book now and save the date. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.net. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Now for the details. The main opposition United Progressive Party in Antigua has officially launched its election campaign ahead of the snap March 21 elections there. UPP leader Harold Lovell said that Prime Minister Gaston Brown called an early poll to stop a slide in the popularity of the incumbent.
It is hope versus desperation, because they're so desperate as a government that they call election and begging people to vote for them.
Lovell told a rally in St. John's Sunday that a government headed by him will tackle what he called the high cost of living there.
Gasoline is going to be reduced to $10 a gallon. And diesel will be reduced to $9.90 a gallon. There will be a 25% reduction in the APUA fuel variation charge. That will reduce the cost of your electricity. And we will permanently peg energy prices. We're going to peg those to the international price of oil.
Leader of Antigua's UPP, Harold Lovell. Still in Antigua, Bruce Goodwin, former deputy chairman of the Antigua and Barbuda Electoral Commission, ABEC, is the latest official to disagree with a decision by the commission mandating Barbudans vote in Antigua on March 21. Weeks ago, the commission led by Nathaniel Paddy James, chairman, issued a statement indicating that eligible voters registered for the constituency of Barbuda would be required to vote in Antigua because of the prevailing circumstances on the hurricane-hit island. Goodwin, who was once head of ABEC under the United Progressive Party UPP's tenure, described the process as illegal and a slap to the faces of Barbudans. He also stated firmly that it is a manipulation of the Barbudan electorate. In Jamaica, more than 40,000 Jamaicans are eligible to vote in Monday's by-elections, from which will emerge a new Member of Parliament for the St. Andrew Northwestern constituency and a councillor for the Norman Gardens division of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. According to the Electoral Office of Jamaica, 112 polling stations in St. Andrew Northwestern and 52 in the Norman Gardens division are scheduled to open in time for voting to begin at 7 a.m. The polls will close at 5 p.m., after which the preliminary counting of ballots will take place. Dr. Nigel Clark, a former opposition senator who now serves on the government's Economic Growth Council and is chairman of the National Housing Trust, is contesting the St. Andrew Northwestern seat for the ruling Jamaica Labour Party JLP, while principal of Padmore Primary School in St. Andrew West Rural, Keisha Haley, is the opposition People's National Party PNP candidate. The Norman Gardens division race will see the JLP's Headley Wilson going up against the PNP's Jacqueline Lewis. Both by-elections became necessary after Derek Smith, who represented St. Andrew Northwestern for 29 years, retired in January, and Angela Brown Burke, who held the Norman Gardens seat, resigned to successfully contest the parliamentary by-election for St. Andrew Southwestern after Portia Simpson Miller, who held the seat from 1976 to 1983 and again from 1989 to 2017, retired last year. This is Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service. In more news, Jamaica's Foreign Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith says the government thinks Jamaica is paying CARICOM far too much in contributions. The minister says they share the concern of the CARICOM Review Committee's report that Jamaica's contribution to the regional bloc must be revised. A day after recalling its United Nations ambassador for consultations in protest over a UN official's remarks about oil loan corruption allegations, the Haitian government has cancelled its participation in a high-level UN retreat on cholera in New York. Hosted by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and his special envoy for Haiti, Josette Chiran, the overnight retreat at Green Tree on Long Island opened last week. The gathering involved some of the world's leading innovators in public health, finance, and business who discussed eradicating the deadly waterborne disease from Haiti. Several Haitian government ministers were scheduled to attend, along with Haiti's President Jovenel Moïse, who was to give the keynote remarks, along with Guterres at dinner on Wednesday, an open and closed Thursday session. However, following a recent diplomatic row in the UN, the delegation's appearance at the cholera meeting was cancelled. This has been another edition of Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service, the Caribbean's newsroom. Reporting, I am Jocelyn Crosby.
We now bring you this international report.
Italy appears on course for hung parliament, with exit polls suggesting no group has won a majority in the country's general election. There's been a surge of support, though, for populist anti-immigration parties. The Red Cross has confirmed an aid convoy in Syria has entered the rebel-held enclave of Eastern Ghouta. It comes as 14 civilians are reported to have been killed in overnight airstrikes by Syrian government forces. A South Korean delegation visiting North Korea has met with Kim Jong-un. It's the first South Korean officials to meet the young leader. They'll then travel on to Washington to try to arrange talks between the North and the US. And Frances McDormand and Britain's Gary Oldman have won the Best Actress and Actors Awards at the Oscars in Los Angeles. Best Picture won by The Shape of Water, directed by Guillermo del Toro.
The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, FamCare, Subway, Carib Brewery, and CNC Trading.
Come to Subway and eat fresh. Try our daily specials. That's right, we have a special every day at Subway. Come in today and eat fresh. Stay healthy.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we've got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
I want it cold, blue and gold, real beer, one of a kind. When you try, you can't deny one beer is on your mind. Carib, I need a real beer, yeah. I feel that special magic when I open the gold crown. Carib the beer for me. Carib the beer for you. Carib beer, you know we brew. Beastly cold right on cue. Carib beer, you know it's true. It's a part of me, a part of you. Carib.
Real beer is Carib.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts, offering 24-hour nursing, therapeutic, and residential care for older adults? It's situated at Otley, 7 miles east of Vastair in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodation to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020, fax 466-8221, or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Is your hair thinning, shedding, or breaking? BioCare Labs has researched the causes of split ends, thinning, dry, and brittle hair, and has developed a product to solve these weak hair problems. We call it Strong Ends Products. If you desire to grow strong, healthy hair, Strong Ends Products is your solution. Formulated with potent natural ingredients like honey and shea butter to deposit and retain moisture, castor and almond oil for scalp and roots, and aloe vera and coconut milk for strength. Try the full line of Strong Ends hair products and grow healthy, beautiful hair.
Strong Ends, sold locally by CNC Trading on the CIP Southwell Industrial Site. Telephone 465-4081.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world. Whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous, you can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air. We get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises, telephone number 466-9595.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM. Win FM weather.
Today's weather comes to you with the kind compliments of TDC and Sweet Cane.
Calling all farmers! Calling all farmers! The place to shop in the month of March is the TDC Home and Building Depots. You heard right. Get 20% off all agro products. Participate in the in-store demonstrations. And on Saturday 17th, visit the farmers market to purchase your fresh produce direct from the farm to your table from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. in both locations. TDC Home and Building Depots, celebrating farmers, supporting communities. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
When is the last time that you've had lunch or dinner away from home? The ambience of Sweet Cane on Port Zante provides you with that touch. Sweet Cane daily specials include burgers, wraps, soup, and tasty seafood dishes. Sweet Cane also caters for events and special parties. Call our Sweet Cane hotline at 465-4345 or 665-7628. Sweet Cane, they've got the touch.
A large and strong low-pressure system over the Atlantic will continue to push large and dangerous swells to the shores of the islands. Hence, a warning remains in effect for beachgoers. Also, in spite of the presence of a deep lead trough over the northeastern Caribbean, low moisture levels will continue to restrict shore activity. Today, mostly sunny. Tonight, mostly fair. Winds northwest easterly at 4 to 10 knots with some lighter and variable or calm spells possible tonight. Seas slight to moderate with mainly swells of 2.1 to 2.8 meters or 7 to 9 feet. A warning remains in effect for beachgoers for large swells and high surfs, especially for the northern and eastern coastal waters of the islands where the largest swells are expected. Sunset today at 6:19 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 6:25 a.m. That's your weather forecast for today. Comes to you the kind compliments of TDC and Sweet Cane.
When is the last time that you've had lunch or dinner away from home? The ambience of Sweet Cane on Port Zante provides you with that touch. Sweet Cane daily specials include burgers, wraps, soup, and tasty seafood dishes. Sweet Cane also caters for events and special parties. Call our Sweet Cane hotline at 465-4345 or 665-7628. Sweet Cane, they've got the touch.
You need new tires but don't know what to get. TDC can help.
Hi, I'm Goodyear. I ensure great handling and great braking in wet and dry conditions.
My name is Sunphone. My continuous block patterns enhances stability at high-speed cornering. Did someone say speed? Hi, I'm Torque. Pick me for great performance and stability.
Boys, I know exactly what they want. I'm Pressa. I'm the perfect fit for your SUV. Pick me and get the ultra-high performance with outstanding grip and traction regardless of the road conditions.
So which one of us are you gonna choose? For the most reliable, durable, high-performance tires, come to TDC Automotive Divisions. We'll help you choose from the best brands at the best prices.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Welcome back. You're live with Voices program on Win FM 98.9. It's about 28 minutes before the 1 o'clock hour. Voices is a program that is sponsored. The second half is sponsored by Floor, Courts, SL Horsford, and KFC.
I'll take a small.
XL, that's the size for me. Flo's new prepaid combo plans have the most choice and value for everyone. Save up to 90% by combining your talk, text, and data into one simple plan. And with options starting at just $19.99, it's easy to say it, type it, or share it. A whole lot more for a whole lot less. Dial *129# now to activate. The bigger you go, the bigger you save with Flo's new prepaid combo plans. This is how we flow.
Shopping is a lot easier with Courts Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products, and we take care of the rest. Courts Ready Finance's affordability means there's no deposit. There's no need for a lump sum of cash. It's flexible, which means you choose your payment term and you're guaranteed the lowest monthly payments anywhere. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. Shop at Courts today and get what you want hassle-free. Courts Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Ready when you're ready. Ready to build? Ready to construct? Well, if you're ready, then we're ready. Ready when you're ready. From roads to foundation, Horsman's Building Center is ready to organize and deliver the highest quality ready-mix concrete for your residential, commercial, or industrial projects. Call 465-2262, extension 1187, or 664-2640. And let us organize and deliver ready-mix concrete when you're ready. Ready when you're ready. Horsman's Ready-Mix Concrete. Ready when you ready. Ready when you're ready.
How does it feel when you got that feeling? You got the flavor you love. How does it feel when you know you're not dreaming? There is nothing above.
How you feel when things come together? How you feel when everything nice? How you feel when you savor the flavor, the feeling you get when you taste every bite?
Okay, welcome back, and we are back, and we have someone waiting online. Let's take this caller. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Sandra, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
You know, this weather pattern we just experienced lately here. I've experienced cold nights before, but this one to me stayed long and with a lot of wind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got this text from somebody who, with this male voice, and he began to talk about doom and gloom, about all these islands that's going to be affected by some tsunami. But then, the strange thing, Sandra, is that when I decided to investigate, because I have this app that tells about the weather,
mm-hmm.
and the very same doom and gloom that he said he had a dream of is what the weather people was telling us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also got a message from somebody And the very same islands and them which he said he dreamed about is included in what the Met people and them was talking about. You know, I don't know why people feel that St. Kitts is worse than other places, you know. I have read places where they even warn you not to go. Everything is St. Kitts and Nevis bad and St. Kitts and Nevis, the government wicked. They have other places, another country right now in the Caribbean. So far they have over 100 and something murders for the year. St. Kitts ain't reached nowhere there yet. You know, I mean, some people, again, there's another person who sent me this thing here, that if I don't post it within an hour or some of that, I can have bad luck for the rest of the year. I just delete them.
Me too.
People, for some strange reason, as soon as something hit the internet, they don't want to know whether it's true or not. They don't investigate it, and they post it. But this man, who he is, so you dream it, you may dream it, I really don't know. But the very same island you include in your dream is what the Met Office is saying. People must stop sending these things around now. You have a good day.
Thank you. I do understand. Like I said, you know, you have to be careful what you're hearing, because people can use that. I mean, some people like to spread propaganda and they're using it. It's called a fear factor. We go to the lines and take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good afternoon, host.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
You know that there has never been a time in recorded history where there hasn't been a natural disaster somewhere in the world. And there also never been a time in recorded history where there hasn't been there hasn't been a natural disaster, and there hasn't been like some phenomenon that we can't explain. So things happen.
Yeah,
you know, people believe that there's some type of sign of the time prophecy. I mean, Jesus didn't come then, so why we believe that he's coming now? And if we don't understand why something is happening, how can we just jump to a conclusion without having all the information?
So true.
I mean, on one hand, Christians are telling us that, you know, the day of the Lord is going to be like a thief, coming like a thief in the night. And then on the other hand, they're telling us that they're signs of the times. Well, which is it? Because those two positions seems to be in conflict. And, you know, to the monster caller, I mean, if there's evidence of a hurricane and some people chooses not to believe, then that is due to their own ignorance of the facts. But if there's no evidence of a hurricane, and he says to them there's a hurricane coming, then they have a right to question the authenticity of that information. So you just can't expect people to believe something just because he said it. I mean, he needs to have evidence to back it up. So you just can't believe. People. You just can't expect people to say, "Well, this is the end of the world." So yeah, I'm going to go along with it. When these things have been happening over and over and over and over, and there was no end time. So, I mean, we need to get real. There's always an explanation.
It's true.
Just that we don't know it yet. If we don't understand something, then we need to ask people who study these things.
Yeah.
But we just can't just jump to conclusions.
Thank you for your contribution.
Right, have a good day, host.
You do likewise. That's what I don't understand. We were trying to get in contact with Nima, but the person that I was trying to talk to that is out for lunch. Like I said, he said correctly, there are phenomena that we don't understand. I don't understand them. Like I said, I don't understand them. I don't understand. I've read I've been to church. I'm a church goer. Well, not regular, but I've visited many churches, and the teaching is the same. I've read the Bible. The teaching is the same. But what I'm saying is that I don't know what to believe. Honestly, I don't know what to believe. And so what I try to do, I try to make sure that if, like I said, you can't predict, but you can prepare. And let's go to this phone line and see if this person have any more information for us. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
I just heard the last caller mention that the signs of the times and that Jesus said he's coming like a thief in the night is in conflict. I don't think so. The signs of the times is a warning that Christ did say that you will see signs before the end comes. There will be signs of floods and so on, and that's a warning. And then the end will come. That when it comes, he'll then come like a thief in the night.
So that you're saying now that...
sorry?
So what you're saying now is that Christ doesn't necessarily mean that Christ is going to come because we are seeing these things. These are the things that he spoke about, that we would see the signs that we spoke about, that would see before he comes.
That's right. He said that.
So we're in the last days.
Because his disciples asked him that, how will know? And he said, things will happen.
Before?
No? Yeah, before he comes, yeah. He said, these will happen. And then the end will come.
But you know, there's a scripture in the Bible that it confuses me. That same time when they were asking Jesus, when would the end be? And he says, this generation, I suppose with that he was talking, this generation would not pass away before the Son of Man comes. What was he talking about then?
Well, I'm not really deep into the Bible and so on, I know. But what I do learn from going to Bible studies and in my own interpretation that I make, we all have our own interpretation. But what I see that, what you were saying, that these things are just signs to generation to come. And the generation is what keep coming all the time. Because remember, God said that you pass them on to other generations as they come along. So they're all being told about it, all the different generations coming up. So therefore, there's an excuse that they're not being told about it.
No, but
whatever generations is available at the time, they know about it, and that's it.
Okay, great.
That's my understanding.
I do.
I believe that what we're seeing now, it could be that you see these things before the end.
Yeah.
And then when it will come, it's like a thief in the night.
Well,
so I don't think they're both in conflict.
Okay, that's what you feel.
That's my
understanding. Yeah, right. That's your understanding. But
else.
his analysis says that if you're seeing all these things happening, then there's no surprise. Then Christ coming like a thief in the night would not be a surprise, because a thief is going to surprise you. He's not going to prep you. So I suppose that's what he's talking about, the conflict.
Okay, he said, prepare thyself. Watch and pray, he said.
Okay.
Watch and pray. Okay.
Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome, dear.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's happening. We have, strange phenomena that are happening. My only thing is I want to know what is causing these things so that I can't predict, but I can prepare, and I can prepare myself. Let's go back to the lines and see if we can have some more help. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, hostess.
Hi.
Yes, really and truly, hostess. Jesus himself said, as it was in the days of Noah, so it would be during the generation that would that exists before he comes.
Is
how it was?
Yeah.
Noah was preaching that the flood was coming. You had a generation there, they listened to him. He warned them, he preached over 100 years. And they didn't take on Noah until now, when Noah built the ark and he did enter any family, and God sent the flood. Then they start to run towards the ark. Well, this is it. Today, we are hearing the word of God. Preach, radio, television, missionaries throughout the world. Well, people are not really paying heed. I heard a caller spoke a while ago. And as the 2 Peter chapter 3 verse saying that there are going to be persons coming in the last days and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the Father fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this they were willingly ignorant of, but that by the word of God the heaven were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. But what this is saying really, this is where people become complacent and questioning the coming of Christ.
Well, caller, let me ask you a question, because you seem to be very Bible savvy. The scriptures. There's a scripture in the Bible talk about giants who were in those days, and the Norse story can be very conflicting though, because the giants were the ones who were eating up the flesh of humans, and the humans were crying out to God in Noah's time. And according to what I've read, was that the flood was to get rid of the giants. And and you know who the giants were? The giants were the interbreeding of the sons of God with the daughters of men. So we have to do, a lot of times we consider ourselves as
the essence, the real essence of the whole thing in our generation, based on two things. When you read Genesis chapter 6, you look there and You saw the violence, you read the violence and the corruption that were taking place.
That was the giants
in
doing,
that generation.
Yeah, but those were the giants. And who were the giants then?
You understand? And God told Noah
to build an ark.
That men have grown wicked and corrupt, and he would destroy the generation.
Okay, and he did.
And he said, and he did. As it was then, today, what we are seeing, violence and corruption.
But again,
and we have the preach word, and the people remain in ignorance and in disbelief. Just as in that generation, he compared it to generation.
But
so
look
who
again.
Want to believe is a matter for them.
And that is true. But look again in the Bible. Let's go to the Bible. The Bible said again, where God found, he felt terribly. He repented the day that he made man, because he also said that man's heart was wicked from the beginning. Those are scriptures in the Bible. So if man's heart was
when he looked down at that time when this violence was existing, and the men became corrupt.
Man was corrupt from the beginning. He said that. Not man became corrupt.
From the beginning. He wasn't from the beginning.
He says man's heart has been evil.
God made man in his own image after his own likeness.
I know. I said,
you understand me? God didn't make no real corruption.
But I said, read the Bible. The Bible says, God said that man's heart was wicked from the beginning. It's in the Bible.
From the beginning.
Okay, we are going to get a scripture for you. I'm going to
that generation, when the generation moved away from God and began to do those violence and those acts that grieved the heart of God.
Which generation
moved? And regret that he made man.
Which generation moved away from God?
That the generation with Noah's generation, and that's why he compared the generation to that generation that preceded the coming of Jesus Christ.
When there were only two men in the world, one killed another one. I mean, that was wickedness before even Noah and the world was populated with humans. So even when there were only two people in the world,
that is when men fell.
No, men fell according to you guys in the Garden of Eden.
Remember that men fell because of disobedience.
In the Garden of Eden.
And it was God who sent his son Jesus to bring back man towards God.
It's true. I'm really getting too caught up in this discussion.
God find a way still to redeem man. The love of God. For God so loved this world
that he gave his
only begotten Son. That whosoever believeth in him shall not perish,
but have everlasting life.
Man fell from redemption, but God, through his Son, came down in man, in the flesh, took upon himself our sins.
Okay.
What a loving God. So today, man don't have no excuse. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's hear. Okay, let's take this call. We've lost this caller. Now we're going to hear from our sponsors. It's Floor Courts, SL Hosford, and KFC.
I'll take a small.
XL, that's the size for me. Flo's new prepaid combo plans have the most choice and value for everyone. Save up to 90% by combining your talk, text, and data into one simple plan. And with options starting at just $19.99, it's easy to say it, type it, or share it. A whole lot more for a whole lot less. Dial *129# now to activate. The bigger you go, the bigger you save with Flo's new prepaid combo plans. This is how we flow.
Ready when you're ready.
Ready to build? Ready to construct? Well, if you're ready, then we're ready.
Ready when you're ready.
From roads to foundation, Horseman's Building Center is ready to organize and deliver the highest quality ready-mix concrete for your residential, commercial, or industrial projects. Call 465-2262, extension 1187, or 664-2640. And let us organize and deliver ready-mix concrete when you're ready.
Ready when you're ready.
Horseman's Ready-Mix Concrete. Ready when you ready.
Ready when you're ready.
How does it feel when you got that feeling? You got the flavor you love. How does it feel when you know you're not dreaming? There is nothing above.
How you feel when things come together? How you feel when everything nice? How you feel when you savor the flavor, the feeling you get when you taste every bite?
Shopping is a lot easier with Courts Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products, and we take care of the rest. Courts Ready Finance's affordability means there's no deposit. There's no need for a lump sum of cash. It's flexible, which means you choose your payment term and you're guaranteed the lowest monthly payments anywhere. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. Shop at Courts today and get what you want hassle-free. Courts Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Of course, yeah, my technician fall asleep sometimes, and he just did come back to Voices. I was just enjoying that music. We have a call online. Let's take this caller. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
I found the phrase that you used this morning pretty funny. You know, waking up and finding out that you are dead.
Yeah.
You also mentioned the fact that you didn't know that our laws protected women against,
equality in payments.
Unequal
Yeah.
pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with men. Actually, I didn't know either, right? And I hope that the law is actually gender neutral in the sense that it just guards against all discrimination in the workplace, regardless of the reason, right? Because, again, if you make laws just to protect women, what happens when the pendulum swings too far in the other direction? And your case, the thing with it is that it's hard to prove that, I think it will be hard to prove that you were discriminated against because you are a woman, you know? Right. That would be a tough case to prove.
I'm a good Tamil lawyer. I can prove my own cases. Don't worry about that one.
Okay. All right. Listening to the religious arguments, though, I tend not to get involved in them because they seem never ending.
I know.
The weather will do what the weather will do, and so will God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, all we can do is prepare for both. Mm-hmm. I prefer to discuss things that we have control over.
Thank you.
And I think one of the biggest problems we have is, certainly in the Federation, is a lack of consistency. Right? We have too many double standards. We don't call a spade a spade. What's wrong depends on who is doing it and when it is done. You know, we have to be more consistent. You know, why are some things just plain taboo or hush-hush? You know, why are certain people untouchable? Why are certain things off limits? Because, you know, they are uncomfortable and difficult to actually face and discuss. And so we tiptoe around them or handle them like hot potatoes, okay? And always passing the blame and passing the buck, right? So instead of dealing with the problem, it stays there and festers, okay? I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but we need to look at the fact that some people, and well, too many it seems, are at their limit on coping with today's problems, you know, and have nowhere to turn to, right? At the very least, nobody should be in a situation where they feel like a cornered rat, so to speak, right? It's a dangerous place to be because they do one of two things. One, they either give up, okay, resign themselves to their fate, and maybe even become mental or suicidal. Or secondly, they may lash out, right? And they lash out in ways we don't like crime and abuse, okay? And they harm not just themselves, but the society as a whole, okay? There should always be somewhere that you can turn to when you have hit rock bottom, okay? Some kind of support system that intervenes. It could be family, friends, church, you know, NGOs, and yes, even government, right? Government services. I think we have swung the pendulum too far to the point where we absolve government. You know, we are too quick to say government can't do everything. I mean, we know that, but they do in fact have a responsibility to safeguard society from all ravages, including issues like spousal abuse and that sort of thing.
It's true.
Okay? Just like they have an obligation to keep us safe and secure in terms of crime. Okay? It's no different. You know, we are too quick to make excuses for not taking action or speaking out. You know, so you often get well, why didn't you speak out before? Or they used to do it too. Or it's our culture and tradition. Or worst of all, that's the way it is. That's just the way it is. God is coming for his world, so we should just sit back and do nothing. Right? You know, I think that's a defeatist attitude that we should not take. Okay? When we throw out red herrings like that, we waste energy that is better spent in coming up with solutions, and we encourage apathy. Okay? Then, of course, there's the leadership dimension. I mean, can we really say that we have exemplary leaders? You know, do they exhibit how we should interact with each other and resolve conflicts? I would say no.
In Parliament.
You know, I'm kind of glad that I was born when I did. I really feel for young people growing up. They have a lot to contend with. And I'm not sure that the older folks, with all our experience, know how to teach them to cope. Okay? Our experience and reality, it's far different from theirs. You know, we are forever looking back and, you know, and we're nostalgic about how we were brought up and feel that the same principles and methods can be applied now.
No.
Yes, we went through all the phases of development, including the teenage years, but that was nothing compared to teenage years now.
The contributing factors were different.
Yeah.
The contributing factors
in fact,
are different.
Even the primary school experience is more complicated.
Definitely.
Okay? Yeah, so you know, they have to deal with the new interaction between the sexes too. Mm-hmm. I mean, how does a male nowadays interact with a female whose paycheck is probably more than his, and who is more likely to be his boss, or who is now more independent? I mean, the whole process of socialization is changing, and I'm not sure we know how to deal with it. Okay? Both sexes have to adjust to the new reality that demands parity and emphasizes equality and human rights. I mean, even for children who don't much understand the concept of human rights, they have rights too. Okay? And what compounds the problem is that we have relegated things like sociology to the bottom of careers. Okay? We don't regard it as a productive discipline like, let's say, the science and technology and the math. Okay? And so our investment tend to be in those STEM subjects which you know, it leads to exponential changes in expectations, while at the same time, the discipline which helps us to cope with that rapid change is dismissed. So I think we're in for a really torrid time. I'm not making excuses for deviant behavior, but if you don't understand the problem, we can't solve it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller. That was a good contribution. I really appreciate it. While we are talking, I look at another situation. We have a caller online, but before I must make mention of the fact that Kim Collins, he has resigned. We're going to talk about this after I've listened to this caller. Caller, you're live on Voices. We would have lost that caller. We have another caller. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, hostess.
Hi.
Really and truly, I should let you know that even though some people might think that, well, you know, the Lord fall asleep and that he forget he have to come again, that is not so. But really and truly, what all of this mean for all of us is that God is not willing that any of us should perish. In fact, he said the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering towards us, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. For all the time the delay that God, we feel that he delaying, it's for us to come to repentance. He don't want us not to repent before he comes. He's not willing we should perish, but we should repent. Take this opportunity as we see the signs pointing to his imminent return. Seize the opportunity and repent and turn to him. Because in 2 Peter, hostess, he described those who seems to believe that God is slack. He said, knowing this, first, that there shall come in the last days, hear this, scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the father fell asleep, all things continue as they were. So you would have people questioning, well, so long you say you come, you can't come. The word of God described those people as scoffers. But we all have time now, even before we depart, one way or the next, whether he come collectively to collect us or we die individually.
Well, you know,
it's an opportunity for us to turn to God with all our heart.
You know, caller, though, one of the areas in the Bible that I'm always happy and I have hope is in Genesis 8 and verse 21. In the last sentence that he made there, when he says, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. So he's saying that he's never going to do it again. So I am happy that he said that. If he said it, if he changes his words otherwise, well, then I'm in trouble.
Oh, well, the thing is that he said he wouldn't destroy man with a flood.
He didn't say flood. He said he would not do it again.
A symbol that he wouldn't destroy us.
He said
that way.
He said
he destroy now.
No, he didn't.
But the next time it's fire.
He didn't
so I can tell you.
He didn't say
but
that.
The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in that which the heaven shall pass away with a great noise, and the element shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
It's contradiction.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought he to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heaven being on fire shall be dissolved, and the element shall melt with fervent heat. So this is what he was talking about. Not water, but fire.
Okay, brother.
Thank you very much.
Amen. I am so confused. Sometimes I don't know where we go with this, and it's a confusion. One part says he's not going to do it again, and the next part says he's going to do it with fire. Not with water this time, they said, but he didn't say that in Genesis. He said he's not going to smite any living thing again, so I don't know what do I listen to and who do I listen to. We have another call online. Let's take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, good day once again, host.
Yes.
So again I ask, what are these signs that Jesus is coming? Because, as I said before, there's always been conflict from the beginning of time. There's always been natural disasters, unexplained phenomenon. So what are these signs that this man is talking about?
I'm asking the same question.
And he's reading from a self-fulfilling book. It's like me writing a book saying, I'm the greatest lover ever lived. And then you question that fact, and I said, well, all you have to do is read my book, and you'll get the answers. It doesn't do anything. It's self-fulfilling. So again, what are these signs? These things been happening over and over and over. This is natural. It's been happening, and it's going to continue to happen. So I don't understand what are these signs these people are talking about.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution. That's where the conflicts comes in. Everybody has their own belief, and I would always say that if we continue to destroy the earth is going to retaliate. And for me, that's what I believe in. At one point in time or the other, I mean, if Adam and Eve committed one sin in the Garden of Eden and God kicked them out, what about us who sin every single day? What is repentance? We repent when we're afraid. Fear is the contributing factor. You listen to the pastors preach and they talk about repentance, and every day you sin. The Bible said every day you sin in thought, word, and deed. So, I mean, we are not a perfect people, and we never become a perfect person. Let's go to the line and take this call. Caller, your live on Voices.
Yes, hostess. I am really, I'm willing to help that gentleman, really.
I don't remember him asking for help.
Hostess, right. All of us need help. Hostess, in the First World War was fought, anyway, 1918, somewhere around there. Then you had the second one, I think in 1942 to 45, somewhere around there. World War, years of fighting. Hostess, today, many nations of the world are armed with weapons of mass destruction. You call them nuclear weapons. You understand? And with all of this heightened destruction, it was Jesus who said, unless he was speaking, he shortened the time. The years in which this would exist, no flesh shall be saved. Some president died, I think it's Reagan, I want him to say, there is no winner in a war, in a nuclear war. No winner. And that gentleman must realize, he must come to the realization in which our world finds itself in. Nuclear weapons in the hands of nations. Leaders making the sacrifice to arm themselves with these weapons of mass destruction while leaving the citizens hungry. Hungry. Billions of dollars spent. And this is what we have to face up to. Had it not been from a good God that would really intervene before such destruction. I mean, remember, he saved Noah and his family, And God, in his love, I tell you, his love for mankind, he ain't going to destroy the wicked with the righteous with the wicked, He's going to find some way to take us out. Those who repent and turn to him. That's why the opportunity exists now.
Okay,
So that gentleman must realize the time in which we are living with all of these nations having these nuclear weapons that could destroy this earth over and over.
Caller,
this is the reality.
But caller,
God ain't gonna allow it to happen.
Caller, that is your reality. The caller has his own reality. We just can't seem to start it. No. What I'm saying is that you feel the way you feel, and he feels strongly the way he feels. It's not for you.
Maybe he living in the 90s.
Right? But no. I'm not going to allow. No. I'm not going to allow that. That is his opinion, and you have to respect his. You have your opinion.
Yeah, but he questioned.
Caller, and he has a right. He has a right. There's no.
Well, of course,
we have to understand that people have a right to think the way they think, and you have a right.
Opinion. I respect your opinion, but I would like him.
No. He does.
And turn really to God. Why do you have the thing? You see, and hostess.
These are the things that we have to recognize: is that people are who they are, and you can't push yourself on your feelings and how you feel. Other people have a right to feel how they want to feel. And that's what I said about this program. We have to respect other people's opinion. You are, in your mind, you know what you believe in, and in his mind, he know what he believes in. And I know what I believe in. I believe that, and I know for a fact that this program has been sponsored. And it's for the second half, it's Flo, Quartz, SL Horswood and Company, and KFC.
I'll take a small.
Double XL, that's the size for me. Flo's new prepaid combo plans have the most choice and value for everyone. Save up to 90% by combining your talk, text, and data into one simple plan. And with options starting at just $19.99, it's easy to say it, type it, or share it. A whole lot more for a whole lot less. Dial *129# now to activate. The bigger you go, the bigger you save with Flo's new prepaid combo plans. This is how we flow.
How does it feel when you got that feeling? You got the flavor you love. How does it feel when you know you're not dreaming? There is nothing above.
How you feel when things come together? How you feel when everything nice? How you feel when you savor the flavor, the feeling you get when you taste every bite?
When you get so nice, so good it tastes just right, so good no place to be, so good it's KFC.
Ready when you're ready.
Ready to build? Ready to construct? Well, if you're ready, then we're ready.
Ready when you're ready.
From roads to foundation, Horswood's Building Center is ready to organize and deliver the highest quality ready-mix concrete for your residential, commercial, or industrial projects. Call 465-2262, extension 1187, or 664-2640. And let us organize and deliver ready-mix concrete when you're ready.
Ready when you're ready.
Horswood's Ready-Mix Concrete, ready when you ready.
Ready when you're ready.
Shopping is a lot easier with Quartz Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products, and we take care of the rest. Quartz Ready Finance's affordability means there's no deposit. There's no need for a lump sum of cash. It's flexible, which means you choose your payment term and you're guaranteed the lowest monthly payments anywhere. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. Shop at Quartz today and get what you want hassle-free. Quartz Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Okay, welcome back. Before we have this long discussion, Bible discussion, I wanted to talk about a situation that is brewing. It's Kim Collins, or track star, has decided that he has outrun himself. He's tired and he's getting ready to throw in the towel. I want to congratulate Kim for all that he would have done, the places that he have placed St. A lot of time we look at our sportsmen and women and we have not recognized them enough for the things that they would have done for the country, the areas that, recognition that they've brought to the country. Kim has been doing a whole lot on his own, silently. I mean, we've been seeing what he's been doing. We've been made aware of what he's doing. The unfortunate thing for me is that we've not been saying enough of what Kim has been doing. The world large has recognized and would miss him. And I just hope that people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis too would miss the fact that he's out there promoting us on a daily basis, in the meets that he would have been participating in, the history that he's been continuing to make. And I do hope that the government would have a package in place for Kim. We saw lately where the government of Antigua would have done for Vivian Richards for his contribution in cricket. And I think Kim has done just as much as, or even more, in track and field. I mean, you can't compare the different sports, and I suppose they have different audience. But Kim has done a lot for us, and we must say how proud we are of him. Like I said, he has been given, for me, this is my opinion, he has been giving, in my opinion, enough recognition. And I hope that we would realize and the young people coming up would recognize that Kim could do it and they themselves can do it too. It's an example that our young people can now follow. I hope that Kim would come back and he would go to the various schools and he would look at the situations that we have with our delinquent youths, and he would find a program where he can teach, coach, and help them, not just as an athlete, but social developments and see where we can implement some more positive energy into our youths coming up. So I want to say congratulations to Kim. You've made me proud. You've made the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis proud, and I hope that you would think seriously about making St. Kitts and Nevis your place of residence, and that you can share some of your experience and your knowledge and your not guts, but teach children how to develop that desire to want it bad enough, and so that they can achieve greatness. I think those are the areas that are seriously lacking. And I think he should be placed in the schools. If you don't know where to place him, these are my suggestions, that he should be placed in the schools. We have the Horizon Home up there for delinquent children. He should have certain stint where he can go and talk, because not because you're not going to school, you can still develop in the area of track and field and other sporting fraternities that can take some information to those delinquent youths that we have at the Horizons Home. I look at the story of the recent young girl who was murdered, and the areas where she would have congratulated teachers, Ms. Jacobs, for being there for her and listening to her story. And because of that was part of the turning point in her life, where she wanted to be a positive youth. And, notwithstanding the fact that she has been exposed to all the cruelty from other factors in the Federation, but it's what it is. It's just life, and we have to cherish what we have. The positive ones we have to push. We don't have enough of that positive energy in our environment, and we need to push it, because one of the things the areas that I recognize is that when we focus so much more on people who are failing, and we put less energy and focus on people who are really progressing. And it is very, very obvious that in our society that we don't talk enough of people who are really progressing or who have progressed. Our sports personnel, they have done more work for the tourism department than anything else, and they're not congratulated or they're not rewarded for the hard work that they've put in. So I just hope that the government would look at this as an area where they can build more in Kim. Kim has a wealth of experience. He has a wealth of knowledge. He would have mixed with different culture all over the world, and he can be an ambassador. And I just hope, like, there's so many areas that he can be placed, and I just hope that we don't leave him on the wayside. And like I've seen a lot of our sportsmen who would have contributed to sports, that they're here and they're just fighting their own battles. So, to the powers that be, Kim has thrown in his towel. I hope that we would, in the future, not just on talk shows, but would hear from Kim about his experiences on other mediums. Let's go to the phone line and take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, I would like to make a comment. Hello?
Hi, I'm hearing.
Yeah, about something that was said on the radio station. Am I calling the right number?
This is 6620989, 7620989. This is Win FM. Yeah, Voices program. I don't know what number you dial.
I dial 762.
0989, and then you're on Voices. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not talking to that individual on the radio, so.
Who you want to talk? Yeah, go ahead. You're talking to someone on the radio. You're on the Voices program. You're live.
Okay. The lady made a comment. They were talking about the flood.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to have to check out the scripture in the Bible. Because it said, God said he would not destroy she said God did not say he would not destroy the earth again with a flood. And it is written in there. I would like her to check out Genesis 9:11. You know, he said, never again will life be cut off by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. So what she was saying is completely wrong.
No. That's what I said. The Bible said, and if you read Genesis 8 and verse 21, he said he would never do that again. He would never destroy life. That's you and I are saying the same thing. Maybe you misunderstood what I said.
I would have misunderstood.
Yeah, you would have misunderstood. I said that's what he said. So when the other caller talked about the fire, but I said I don't know about that one. I know he said he wasn't going to destroy earth again. And it's what the scripture that I would have read, Genesis 8 and verse 21.
Well, it's in the book of Matthew where he said that John was talking to Jesus Christ, and Jesus came to be baptized by John, and John asks Jesus, "Why do you come to me?" And Jesus said, "Oh, let it be so, in order to fulfill all righteousness." And John started speaking about Jesus, saying, when Jesus asked him to baptize him, he said, "Why do you come to me?" And talked about how powerful Jesus was, that he was not worthy of tying his shoestring, that he was more powerful than John. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Caller, the Bible, I've read the Bible. I'm not a Bible scholar, but I try my best. I was going along that path where it was a fair factor, and I wanted to make sure that I was safe from everything else. But you read the scriptures, and a lot of us read the scriptures and misinterpret a lot of things that the scripture says. And for me, I don't want anybody to interpret the scriptures for me. I want to interpret it myself because I'm going to be held responsible for what I would have done and based on what I know. So I don't want anybody to interpret it for me. I think I can read enough to interpret myself. But there are areas that we have to be very careful.
In Matthew 3, verse 11, where he says, "I baptize you with water for repentance, but after me will come one who is more powerful than I, whose sandals I am not fit to carry. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire." Now, the Bible talks about these things. When we get baptized in the name of Jesus Christ, that is to take us into heaven. And for all the people that did not believe that there is a God and Jesus Christ, his words is his son, right? when Jesus come into the world and those clouds, as the Bible tells us, then they would have realized that there is a God. And it's that burning fire when they're going to acknowledge that there is a God. There will be fire for all who do not believe in the Bible. The Bible is the foundation. Paul said, I laid the foundation as an expert builder, and others are building on it. But be careful how you build, because there is only one foundation. That's Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, God's Son, it is all that is written in the Bible. God, in John 16, he says, he sent his only begotten Son into the world. His only. Well, as we know it, God is spirit. God don't eat, God don't drink, God don't go to the bathroom. The only thing we know that comes from God is his word. Begotten means fire, originate. The word originated with God. In the beginning of John, it says, in the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God. And I think it's in the 13th verse, it says, the word became life and made its dwelling among us. So everybody look towards the flesh and bones. They don't realize that God created flesh and bones through Mary. It wasn't a man who slept with Mary. If it was a man who had slept with Mary, Jesus would have been born into sin. Now, we all comes from Adam. And because Adam sinned, we all sin. But man is not Jesus' father. It's the Holy Spirit that moved up on Mary. So he was born without sin. And God manifested his words into that flesh and bones, because we are of flesh and bones. For that flesh and bones to be an example for us. The Son of God is his words that is written in the Holy Bible.
Sir,
people don't understand these things.
I do understand.
It's clearly written.
Okay, do you have a church, sir, that I can attend? Because I know we're on a very short program and it's taking up, and I do understand what you're trying to say. And let me tell you, when it comes around religion, there's no end to it. It's like politics. And I don't like to get caught up in these kind of discussions. And I wish everybody can hear you, but I can't give you all of the time. So if
No, I understand.
Okay, great, good.
But it's all good.
I appreciate it, and you're getting very passionate. And I know when I get passionate, I can't finish. So I appreciate the fact that you don't understand what I'm saying. But it's taken, and I don't understand what you're saying. I'd like the fact that everybody has to way in what they believe in. It's hope.
All right, no problem. That is true. You take care.
Thank you.
Have a nice time.
Yeah, thank you for calling.
I just wanted to voice my opinion.
And continue to be a caller. I appreciate that. Every time you call in, you can give a little piece and a little piece.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your call. Thank you for that. I don't want you guys to believe that I am I'm really just past. I don't get involved. I read for my own benefits. Let's go to the line and take this call. Caller, your live on Voices.
Yes. While I agree with you in insisting that everyone has a right to believe what they want to believe, we must also caution that some beliefs are downright dangerous. A lot of the world problems and wars can be traced back to people believing in a few things that can be regarded as heresy, like, for instance, that the end justifies the means, that right is might, an eye for an eye, or the inherent superiority of one race or nationality, class or religion over another. Okay? So while recognizing that not everything can be proven and there is space for blind faith, it is usually better when we base our faith on facts and truth. The problem I think we have is that there are some people who, even when presented with evidence of the truth, still continue to believe the lie. Okay. Right? And there's a very unflattering word for people like that. Okay? It was no less a person than Winston Churchill who said that the problem with democracy is that it allows my ignorance to be on equal terms with your knowledge. Okay? But everyone does have a right to believe what they want to believe, even though it might be wrong.
Right, it's
sometimes
their
it
right.
turns out to be
It's their,
unfortunate, but
it's their right. It doesn't matter how you turn it. It's a person's right to believe in what they want to believe. I mean, believe
even
for
if
me.
they're wrong.
I don't know how we can prove it, because we have to prove that the person is wrong or the person is right. Let me tell you, belief for me is a shortcut. I don't believe in anything. Give me the facts and I will tell you, okay, it is true. I can't tell you that I believe that this is blue, I believe that is green. I want to know it's a fact. Give me the facts, and I can't go against the facts. You can't change the facts. The fact is the truth. But if there's, in the event that there's no facts, then it's based on people's belief. Belief for me, it's a shortcut. Everybody believes in something and they don't have any idea whether or not it's true. It is what it is.
Isn't that a problem, though?
It is a big problem, and that's what I say. Everybody say, "Oh, you have to believe this." I don't have to believe it. Prove to me it is a fact, and then I don't have to accept it. But it's just what it is. Belief is a shortcut. Belief is something that we're given.
What do you think of people who, even when you give them evidence that this is for a fact not true, they still continue to believe it?
They just can't rationalize. I believe those people, they are just ignorant, and they can't rationalize. A lot of us, maybe I'm one of those. Maybe I'm ignorant.
That's the word. That's the word that they use. People who see evidence of the truth, but still continue to believe the lie.
Yeah.
The lie.
Yeah.
They call them ignorant and stupid.
Not stupid. They're ignorant.
Want to say that,
not stupid. They're ignorant. They're ignorant.
That's what they said.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for calling, caller. We have one more caller. We're going to take this last call. Caller, you're live on Voices. Can you turn your radio down, please? Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody out there in Radioland. Good afternoon, Madam Hostess.
Hi, good
afternoon. How are you
afternoon.
doing this afternoon?
I am great.
Excellent, and you have a very robust discussion I'm thoroughly enjoying. However, I will not engage today in dissecting theological and religious conundrums. I will leave that up to you bigwigs. I want to address very briefly Kim Collins' retirement from the track and what it should mean to us and what I think it does. Was in 1993. Kim Collins took his place among the giants of the world in track and field. And he ended up at the top of the heap. And when he did, the world looked up and took note of St. Kitts and Nevis. Now tell me something. Which marketing budget could have given us that type of universal exposure? Look at how self-effacing and unassuming he is amidst the hubbub and the hysteria. Somebody said that humility is the true mark of greatness. I certainly believe that Kim Collins has dignified us in ways that we can't even yet imagine, because the impact has not yet run its course. They say a rising tide lifts all boats, and this is true because if you would remember, before 1958, the entire medical institution said it was physically impossible for a man to run 1 mile under 4 minutes. And when Roger Bannister in 1958 did that, a slew of sub-4 minute miles followed shortly thereafter. And so, Tim Collins, I want to let you know that there are many people who are now in their late 20s who haven't seen you performed until you were 40, who are even now thinking about prematurely throwing in the towel. They will persist. Somebody from St. Kitts, a man, a woman of meager means, will be inspired by you to get a scholarship and take us places. In closing, I simply have to say that history will name Kim Collins as one of the brightest stars to ever shine among the constellation in our national crown. Oh yes, Tim, you've thrown in the towel on the field with your legendary performances. But I want to submit to you that that which still remains within you, the mileage you have, will ensure that the latter part of your life will be even greater than the first. Thank you. Thanks again. On behalf of a grateful and indebted nation, good luck on your future endeavors. God richly bless you. Coming from a sincere admirer of yours in Pemberton. Good afternoon and goodbye.
Thank you. I want to thank those of you who would have contributed to our program today. It was inspiring. For me, it was really, really inspiring. It was a learning program. I've learned a lot, and I want to encourage you to continue to stay tuned to Voices, Win FM 98.9, and that you can always contribute. We want to thank our sponsors for making this program possible. For the first half, it was TDC Rams and Flow. For the second half, it was Flow, Courts, SL Hospital, and KFC. We want to say thank you to our sponsors for making this possible. I want to thank Trent for a job well done. He always does a very good job. He always does a very good job in alerting me when there's somebody else is trying to call in. And I want to thank you, the callers and the listening public, for your for listening, just listening. You've done well. My name is Sandra Quilly Atherton, and I'm saying bye until Friday. I hope that you continue to stay tuned to Win FM 98.9. We have other programs in line, and I know that you'll be able to enjoy that. Bye.
Ready when you're ready.
Ready to build? Ready to construct? Well, if you're ready, then we're ready.
Ready when you're ready.
From roads to foundation, Horseman's Building Center is ready to organize and deliver the highest quality ready-mix concrete for your residential, commercial, or industrial projects. Call 465-2262, extension 1187, or 664-2640. And let us organize and deliver ready-mix concrete when you're ready.
Ready when you're ready.
Horseman's Ready-Mix Concrete, ready when you ready.
Ready when you're ready.
I'll take a small.
XL, that's the size for me. Flow's new prepaid combo plans have the most choice and value for everyone. Save up to 90% by combining your talk, text, and data